You're here. I'm Alyssa, and I'm going to be helping moderate tonight's webinar with Marissa. And tonight, as you guys know, we'll be talking all about products and retail and how you can make sales a priority for your salon. We also have Liz and Ed here in the background. They're behind the scenes. They may chime in at some point, and we'll be engaging with you guys in the chat box. So if you hear any random voices, that's them. But Marissa, I'm going to hand it to you. I'm really excited for you to share all of your tips tonight. So why don't you introduce yourself and share a bit of your background with the group?
Okay. My name is Marissa. I am from, my studio is in Canton, Michigan. I have been in the industry for about 16 years. I was at a salon for a very, very, very long time, and then decided once I started a family that I needed to be my own boss and take charge of my career and my life. And thankfully then we found Sola, and then I made the jump, and now I have my own studio, and I've been doing that for been a little over 2.5 years.
Awesome.
And I love selling product even more because that is a way for me to be able to pay my rent every week without using all of my other income that I'm making from being in the studio. And I don't know, I'm a product junkie. So I kind of feel like everybody else should be, because I just love anytime something new comes out, like, I mean, I have to have it. It's like guys with like electronics and like their iPhones and things like that. So I like being able to help and encourage people to like spread their love for things like that. So I'm excited to do this with you guys.
Awesome. Well, everyone who's joined, please also share your name, where you're watching from. We'd love to know. Now, before we get into the actual content, I'd love to know, Marissa, if you could share just a little bit about what these past few months have been like for you as a salon owner.
The biggest thing was being like petrified that I wasn't going to have maybe a studio to go back to, or that my clients were going to be so scared to like, I mean, not knowing like what this virus was going to be and what it was going to turn into, like people being too afraid to like come and get their hair done and things like that. But then it honestly, it helped me in a way to like focus on my career more and like almost take a step back and like realize that like this is like, in a way, this was kind of good, because it like gave me time to just like take care of myself, spend more time with my family. But then it made me appreciate my job even more and what I do. But then it made me like realize too that I do need to start focusing more on like my product sales and like where I want to be even 5 years from now, and like every day, like what I want to focus on and what I want my ticket to be and how I can get there. It also helped me to then become more active with like becoming like affiliated with some companies that I really do like, and I like their products. So that was like a way, like I don't know if I would have necessarily ever thought to do that before, like get involved that way. So I mean, I guess in a way in the beginning I appreciated the downtime a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear more about what that was like, especially on the product side. And you guys watching too, feel free to share how things have been while in quarantine. If you're back in the salon, if you're awaiting your reopen date, would love for you guys to be very much a part of this conversation. Okay, well, I'm really excited to dive in and for you guys to hear how Marissa does crush her product sales in her salon. There's a ton of really valuable tips that she'll share tonight. So without further ado, the first tip, offering product sales outside of the salon. So as you said, you've done a lot of this the past few months to still service your clients with awesome products and maintenance tips while at home. Can you share exactly what you did?
Yeah. So the biggest thing was my clients like wanted to still feel connected to me, and like they didn't want to miss anything. They liked being on social media with me. So then anytime I would post anything, or especially anything about product or something that I was doing, that like would trigger something in them, and they'd reach out. And then that was my way of, you know, like communicating back with them and talk about things that like I'd been trying on my hair while we were in downtime. Cause I mean, during the, like my normal life, like before COVID happened, like there were products I would love, but I didn't take enough time necessarily all the time on myself with my hair. So one of the big things were, the minute somebody would text me and want to know like what box color they could use, that I know, like I literally could not. I mean, I was that girl that even though I loved doing hair, like when I was a teenager, like I never box colored my hair. Like there was no way I was ever going to do that.
I'm
So
guilty.
that was my way of saying, well, actually, there is a product that I've gotten for my clients, and it's a root touch-up spray that is much easier to use, and you're not going to mess up your hair, and it's not going to turn into a color correction when you do get to come back to see me. So that was a big thing, was offering stuff like that, especially knowing like I love being with gloss because I have my phone with me 24/7, and obviously I have my gloss on my phone, so I keep notes for everybody. So there are plenty of times where, yes, I have a client in my chair, and when they leave, they're like wanting to purchase like 2 products so bad, but they are afraid their husbands will get mad or things like that. So I like to keep a note in their file that, Sally and Joanne, they really wanted to try these masks. So I felt like this was a good time when they would message me about things, like to bring it up, like, well, I know, I'd go into my gloss real fast. I know you were really wanting to try, this Biolage mask or my Pureology shampoo that I retail. And that was like, you know what, maybe I should. So then I offered local drop-offs, or I would meet in the parking lot of my my studio, and do product drop-offs there.
Love that.
That was like the first 2 months. I feel like I was like nonstop, just doing drop-offs of product, picking up stuff, like nonstop, dropping off at their houses. Yeah. So, and I have a hard time saying no. And I was trying to work on that during this like downtime, but I still didn't really work on that at all. So like anytime somebody would message me, like, I want to try this, like, okay, no problem. Like, I'll get it to you. Don't you worry.
That's awesome that your clients were just so like willing to get products from you or look to you.
Yeah. It honestly helped because I think a lot of people like, because I do feel like with a lot of my clients, like I feel like we're very close, even though like you try to keep that like a little bit of like boundary, like, so they don't feel like they, I don't want them to feel like they can like get their way with stuff or like take it. But like, I feel like they truly like felt bad that I wasn't being able to work because they know how much I do work. So I feel like they felt like they were still being able to, help me but like so many of my clients that didn't like, honestly, like ever show interest in wanting to purchase product before, like they were buying product during this time, and I was shocked. So I appreciated it.
That's awesome. I love that they just supported you during this whole time.
Yeah.
So you said you sold touch-up kits, root sprays. What other products did you sell?
My number one seller during this time would definitely be the L'Oreal, the root spray. I did a lot of, I'm like looking at my stash over here. I did a lot of Biolage makes like treatment packs. They look like Capri Suns. Those were another huge seller. And then honestly, like the Pureology, like the Hydrate shampoo and conditioner, that's like always like the number one in my studio.
Yeah.
I sold tons of those.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I know gift cards have also been really great for you during stay at home. Can you share what selling gift cards was like, and how would you use it to sell products?
Honestly, like the gift card, because I think a huge part of it was just because of like the Gloss Genius app. Like it made it to where like people would it's almost like they weren't doing anything. So they'd be at home and they would go on my app, and you see it when you're clicking around like on my link. And so many people just wanted to be able to like, I don't know. It's just, this feels different than like years ago when we had kind of everything crash. Like people truly were like, what can I do for you? Like, what can I buy from you? What can I give you to make sure that like you're okay? Because I think people honestly were like afraid because of me not maybe going back. I don't know, but it made it so easy just saying like, well, yeah, I do sell gift cards, or like I'd get an alert, like, somebody went on my Gloss app and purchased a gift card. So then I would reach out to them, thanking them. And then it would just strike up the conversation. And then I would work my product right into that. Like, is there anything else you need? Or they would even ask me too, well, what should I use for my hair? Like, well, I'm like not doing anything to it, like to get it ready. So when I do get to come back to see you.
Right.
So that too.
Yeah. I love that you're able to remind them that this is a great way to maintain until their next appointment.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Tip number 2, keeping track of client favorites. Now, I love this tip. I love any advice on personalizing someone's experience in the salon. I know how hard it is to remember names and parts sometimes. So can you share how you do this and what you actually keep track of other than just their favorites?
Yeah. So I kind of touched on it a little bit ago. Like, I definitely, anything that I feel is like a key thing, whether they're a new client or a client I've had for 10 years, my go-to is just, I throw everything in their notes. Like, whether it be, okay, they told me they hated the hairspray they bought last time, but they're going to finish it. Or they really, really want to try a certain product, but they're waiting until they finish something else. Or, you know, that they, like they want to change they talked like over and over again during their appointment about wanting to like add low lights. Like, any little thing goes in the notepad, like on my Gloss app. But the biggest thing, yeah, like if, and especially like on here, it shows like their favorite products. Like, I have some clients that, I mean, like, even if I don't necessarily, it's not a number one seller for me, it's a number one seller for them. Like, I make sure I keep a note in there so that I know, so that when I see that they're coming in, you know, oh crap, you know, Sue's coming in 2 weeks and I don't have number 23 in stock because I don't carry it anymore. I make sure, like, I'll reach out to her ahead of time too and say, like, are you in need? Because I know you're coming in 2 weeks and I'm going to make sure I have it for you. That, yeah. I feel like people love if you're like, they think like, oh wow, she was thinking about me. She wants to make sure that she has what I need. Or how did she even realize that I was going to need that? So I feel like those are things that like people really like appreciate. So then that makes them in a way like, okay, yeah, no, I'm going to get that then. Or maybe I'll get more then too.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. And after selling products at home during this whole quarantine, I'm sure when clients see you in the salon, they'll want to restock.
Oh yeah.
So if you guys had clients who purchased from you during quarantine, check up on their fluid levels when they're back in and ask if they need to restock anything. And make sure to remind them that now is a good time to get it since they're in the salon, since you're not really selling it outside anymore. But this seems like a real lifesaver to just keep track of the products that they love.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, tip number 3, reminding clients consistently to get them excited. So speaking of reminding them at their appointment, how did you remind clients while at home?
I feel like part of it too was our stay-at-home order got extended so many times.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the industry would just, after the first time, like, okay, I'll write your name down on a list and then I'm taking everybody off the books and I'll reach out to you when I can book you again. It was very, very hard to do this, but every time it got extended, would move everybody. Because then I felt like that was a way for me to keep in contact and communicating with clients. And then this way too, we were then exchanging in conversation, whether it be on the phone or in text message. And then it would turn into, well, how are you doing? Or, you know, what have you been doing? And then, you know, honestly, like clients like to feel like they're like still part of your life and they know what's going on with you. So then it was, well, how's your hair doing? You haven't done anything crazy, have you? No, I do think I want to try like doing a mask once, you know, I can come back and see you. And then that would be my like key, like, well, actually I can get you whatever you need. Like, what are you thinking you want to try, or what's going on with your hair that, you know, you're not, especially now that you're not like coloring it or that you're not blow drying it every day. And then that was a way like to keep it going. But I honestly feel like even though it was very, very, very difficult, keeping in contact with them nonstop throughout the first 2 months, like in moving their appointments and like just communicating with them, like made them feel like, okay, she really cares. Like she wants, because I did want to make sure, like, you know, they felt like I just wasn't pushing them aside and like, okay, I'll talk to you in a couple months whenever we actually get to go back to work. So I feel like that helped. And then I feel like that helped with clients. Like, okay, yeah, I do want to buy something, or I do want to try something. So I feel like that helped a lot.
I love that you looked at like rescheduling as another way to connect with your clients where like a lot of professionals just avoided it because it was such a headache, but you
Yeah.
saw it as an opportunity to sell products. That's really
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And like I said, I feel like it made them feel like important, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and like I said, majority of my clients, like, I mean, some of my clients, like they're my clients and I know everything about them, but some of my clients have been with me for so long. Like I do feel like they're part of my family. Like when
Yeah.
I get together, so I'm like, I would like to invite so-and-so, but I'm not going to, but I would like to, like we have like a lot of us have a really close relationship. So I felt like this would be important to them too, like me continuously sending the text like, okay, I'm sorry, I have to reschedule you again. But I feel like that made them feel good too. So
I feel like whether people recognize it or not, our like beauty professional is our favorite person to talk to. And when you're checking
yes.
on me, do you feel special? I feel like you're checking on me to make sure I still look good,
Yeah.
feel good. So please text me about
Yeah.
products. How do you promote product sales in general when you are open?
So Instagram is my favorite thing ever. I do like using gloss and doing like sending out the messages through gloss. Um, Especially when there's some of my clients who aren't as regular.
Mhm.
But gloss is like a huge way to promote anything. So that's like the easiest way besides when they're in the salon in my chair.
Yeah. What is some of your messaging like? What do you say to your clients, whether it's social or through a blast text message? I feel like some people are afraid to come off really salesy.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest thing is like trying to make it so that it's not like you're just trying to make a sale or like you're desperate, like I need to sell this stuff because I am trying to make money.
Mhm.
Um, but like a lot of the times too, like I do like utilizing gloss to like blast it out to people, but then I like to even um like I like to go through and like because I know you can do the filters, but then I do like to go through and select certain people because then I'll just make it more like kind of casual and like, hey, I was thinking of you kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then like know that you had been interested in it or in the past you had used this and now I'm bringing it back into the salon and I'm running this promo on it or something like that. I like that because then I feel like it feels more personal.
Hey,
Yeah.
Marissa, this is Liz. Quick question. So for some people here who may not be so familiar with gloss genius, can you just walk everyone through kind of how the text works and like what these filters do and what you use them for, just so if people don't know
Yeah.
what it is?
So with like the texting or the emailing, you can go through and you can either send out text blasts to get people into your chair. Like say you haven't seen somebody in 6 months and you want to like bring more business in, you can use that to send out. Or if it's, you're approaching the holiday season and you need a way to reach out to your clients instead of the old school, like sending out like snail mail and like flyers in the mail, you can go through and filter, like it shows on your screen where you see like, I haven't seen you in the last 6 months. So you can select that, or you can go even further that it's been in the last 13 months. But then you can go through and you can customize and gloss helps you so much selecting like, is it like a holiday type season? Like, and it gives you different, like blurbs that you can use, or you can take a couple things out and add a couple things in, or you can use it for the products and you can blast it out to help promote something that you're trying to bring into the salon or sell to clients. But pretty much like, I feel like gloss can't go wrong. And everything that like I've used on there has been like fairly successful. Um, and it just helps keep me organized and like sane because I like sending snail mail to people, but I don't want to send 100 postcards
Yeah.
to people. Like
Yeah.
this makes it so much easier.
This sounds really easy to just select specific clients, filter them. I love that you can filter clients with who's purchased specific products from you.
Yeah,
Do that's another way to personalize. Um, yeah, that sounds like it makes it really, really easy.
it's very easy.
Okay, tip number 4. I'm excited about this tip too because I'm crazy about organizing. I'm always finding new ways to organize things in my house, even if it's already organized, especially my beauty products. And I know you shared you're just as OCD about products in
Yeah,
retail. So can you
yeah,
speak to that a little bit?
yeah. So again, going back to gloss, it makes it so easy to inventory everything that you carry in the studio. I like that you can select, like, sometimes, I mean, obviously, like, if you're getting low on something, you can select, like, okay, like, I don't like keeping my low number at 1 because then I get stressed out if I only have one of, like, one of my big sellers in the studio. And if I'm home trying to do an order and I'm not at my studio and I, like, cannot remember looking at my huge shelf full of everything, like, oh my God, do I have another dry shampoo? Like, how many dry shampoos do I have left? So I like being able to just open my phone, open my iPad, go right into my products. And I have used this time too to go through and clean up my products on my gloss a lot, because I have stuff in there that, like, when I opened a studio 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, like, that I carried that I don't carry anymore. So I'm like, okay, like, I need to remove some of the stuff in here. Like, I'm not going to bring it back. It's just so nice to, like, not have to think, like, oh God, do I have to make the 15-20 minute drive to work to see if I have this? Like, I can just pick up my phone, look right in there, and everything is right there for me.
How often do you track inventory, and how do you think about ordering product when it is time? Like, how much?
So I kind of have a problem with product because I just have the kind of the OCD thing. Like, even just with, like, my back bar of color, like, I hate thinking, like, oh my gosh, what if I'm gonna run out? And I know, like, there are certain days when I know, like, okay, I have these 3 people coming in. I know they're all gonna buy this stuff, and they have a tendency to want to buy, like, once they buy a couple things in one, like, while they're like, well, let me try this too. So then I freak out that I'm not gonna have enough stuff. So I have a tendency maybe to keep too much stuff. So I did tell myself coming back into the studio that I'm going to try to, like, work on that with myself, because like I said, I'm a product junkie. So I have a tendency to have too much. But my biggest thing is, like, in reality, I don't like having, with my main sellers, I don't like having, like, under 6, like 6 of them. But like I said, even without looking in my, like, inventory, there are certain products that I know, like, if I don't have those, like, I'm going to be screwed, and, like, I have to have them.
So you just know your clientele, you know the services
Yeah.
that are most popular, what you
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, tip number 5. Always remind clients about products at checkout. So
Yes.
my question is, how would you suggest to other professionals on how to bring up products at the end of an appointment?
So I think the biggest thing is it's good to bring it up at the end of the, like, like, at the end of their service when they're, getting ready to check out. But I think that sometimes that, like, hurts the stylist a little bit if that's the only time they do it. But
Yeah.
I think, like, from the time you start, like, working on their hair, like, you have to really listen to your client, because the minute they, like, mention something like, God, my ends have just been so dry, or, like, I know we've been low lighting, but I don't feel like necessarily like it's lasting that long. Like, those are all things that I, like, store in my brain.
Right.
So throughout the appointment with them, I'm constantly talking about, like, well, like, I know that you said last time that you've been using, like, something from Target, but they saw it online, so they thought it was good. So then that's my way. Like, my whole thing is, like, during the service, and, like, if they're there with you for 2 hours, you don't want to be, like, pounding product into their head the whole time, but you want to, like, slowly keep it going, so that when it does come time to, like, okay, like, let's check you out, let's book your next appointment, then you can say, okay, so I know we talked about, Olaplex. I know we talked about you using Color Fanatic. Do you want to take that home today? And then this way you can see if that helps you more than what you've been using at home. And this way it feels, to me, for my clients, that makes it so it feels like I'm not, like, trying to just, like, sell them and trying to get them to buy product. Like, it feels like by me doing it the whole, like, slowly and just kind of, like, unintentionally throughout the whole time, like, it makes them feel like, okay, maybe I really should try it. And they feel like I'm not just trying to, like, be salesy and, like, okay, buy this product right now.
Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah, it feels really natural when you do it that way. And this is why, like, consultations and client notes are so important. That way, in the beginning of the appointment, you can talk about their goals, their needs. That way, when you bring up those needs throughout the appointment, it feels really, really natural. And where you
and
can.
I have a huge product stand, and I have an area that's right next to it where I keep, like, my iPad, where I do the checking. Like, that's where I check my clients out. So they're kind of just like standing next to my product stand. So then they're just kind of staring at it as I'm checking them out. And then they're like, well, maybe I should. And then I'm talking about it. So then it just kind of all, I feel like, kind of falls together.
I know some stylists do the blink station, and then every time you bring out a product, put it in front of the client.
Yeah.
Do you do that at all?
I think that's great. I think that works for a lot of people. I know in my old salon, when I was in an actual salon setting, that was like a big thing that people would do.
Yeah.
I'll like, especially if it's like a new product or a product we're talking about, if I'm using it in their hair and it's on my station already, then I'll put it on my shelf in front of me and I'll, here, smell it. Or my big thing too is like, oh my God, you have to smell this, because I know like for myself, that's a huge thing. Like I don't want a product that smells bad. And if it smells really good, then I'm like, oh, it like intrigues me more. And I know a lot.
Me every time.
Yeah. Well, that is like a huge thing for my clients too. So that helps. But I just know for myself, like it does work for a lot of people, just putting the product in front of them. Like, okay, you think about it. What do you think? For me, I just like kind of like having it go the whole entire time and then just kind of having them like feel it, smell it, whatever. But I like to just kind of like slowly talk about it throughout their whole appointment.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Now, are you changing your checkout experience at all when reopening your salon? And are you creating a touchless checkout experience?
So I use my iPad for checking out regardless. Most of my clientele, the next 2 months, it's all people who are existing clients. And so I have been telling people as I've been rebooking everybody again that, they all have their card on file. So then my big thing is that I'm going to give them the option. Like I have all of the stylus pens. Like I'm going to give them the option, like here, you can sign, I can sign for you. This is your total. You can see it. My iPad's huge. Like you can see everything at the top. You don't have to worry about doing anything if you don't want to, because I have their card stored.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So you are requiring a card on file when they book, right?
Yes, always. Before COVID, you have to have a card on file.
Yeah, that's a really great way to also enforce your cancellation policy.
Yes.
I also know that with Gloss Genius, you can actually skip the signature screen. So they don't even have to touch your phone or your iPad.
Yes. And most of my clients are like, just do whatever percentage and will you just sign it for me? They are like, yeah.
Oh,
okay,
that's nice. You have the best clients, Marissa.
Yeah, I am very fortunate with my clientele.
That's awesome. All right. Next tip. Number 6 is keeping track of your product sales and understanding the opportunity, and the opportunity being a vital part of your salon's income.
Yes. So I love money. So I've always wanted to try to increase my sales. Yeah. And one thing, like before I came over to Asola, my previous salon had transferred over to, oh my gosh, what is it called? Now I can't think of the name of it. Summit Salon. So that really helped me. Like you get the book, you figure out with your trainer, like, okay, this is what your daily ticket should be. So going back to Gloss, like it's awesome because you can swipe and you can see like, okay, like my daily ticket, besides with the reports, but like you can see like, this is what my average ticket is. If you have, Sally Mae coming in and you're like, well, she's only getting a haircut and like a gloss, and that's only going to be say like $80, but my average ticket should be like 120. So that is like something that you need to like, you can make note of to yourself. And it's like, okay, like I really do need to try to get her to buy shampoo and conditioner, or I know she's wanted to try X, Y, and Z. Like this is the time, because I really want to make sure that my ticket is what Gloss is telling me that my average ticket has been over the course of since the beginning of the year. But then I do like, and I have been trying to keep track, and I've been working at it now since I've had a lot of free time, using the reports to see like with my retail sales and my sales. Because my thing is, when I started at Sola, the owner of the franchise that we were at, his big thing was like, I want to see all you girls sell product. Like you guys could totally, a week, if you sold enough product, like you could be paying your rent. And that is like just always stuck in my head, because my rent is not cheap, especially now that I'm in a studio by myself. So I'm like, yeah, I really do need to sell as much product as I can a week. So that essentially is just paying my rent, and I'm not actually having to then worry about it coming out of the sales that I make from my services. So that's a huge thing for me. And I love, again, I love notebooks and I have my planners and I have everything, but my phone is literally always with me. So then I love that I just have everything right in there and I don't have to worry about it. if somebody's asking me a question, or when I go to my tax guy, and of course, because every single time I forget something, it doesn't matter because I can go on my phone and I can just have gloss send it to me and I have it and it doesn't matter.
That's so easy. I love that you can also pull a report for your MVP or VIP clients.
Yeah.
And
Because you would be shocked when you think that certain people like, oh, they've spent the most or they're my best client. And I remember the first time I ever did it, I was so shocked at who my clients, like my top leaders were. I'm like, oh my God, I would have never even realized that. But gloss, it's like right at your fingertips.
And these are the people who are most likely going to purchase product from you.
Yes. Yes.
Which clients, I have a question. Which clients do you feel like purchase the most from you? And I don't know if this is a silly question, but is there a trend that you're seeing that maybe it's your younger clients, new ones who are always purchasing? The goal is for everyone to purchase, but maybe there's a generation or type of client who will spend more.
I don't honestly, I think that like I do have a good amount of men that like low key buy product. Like it's stuff that they'll like, some days, like when they come in for their appointments, they'll like try to like nonchalantly ask me about, but they're kind of like nervous about it. And then they'll send me a text. Like, I know what we talked about it. And I know you said, you could get me some like this or that. Cause I retail more, I don't want to say more aimed towards women, but majority of my clients are women. I have a handful, a decent amount of men, but some of the stuff that like a man would need for their hair, like I don't necessarily retail because it's not going to go as quickly as my other stuff. But I tell every single client, like if you give me at least 2 weeks before your appointment, if you don't hear from me, like if there's something that you really want that I don't sell, like I'll get it for you. It will be waiting for you at your appointment. So I do think I honestly have a lot of guys that you wouldn't think, but that really do buy a lot of products.
That surprise you.
Yes. And they are, I feel like in a weird way, they're almost happy that I don't sell it there. So that like, if I have somebody there, like, it's like they don't, like somebody won't see them buying it. I don't know. Cause I don't know why.
Shy about it.
Comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. And the last tip, join an affiliate program. I know this is a really amazing way to make even more money with commission.
Yes. So like I said, before all of the stay-at-home stuff happened, I had not been in an affiliate program with any product like companies, but because of being home, and I mean, I am selling a lot of product and doing drop-offs, but there are some times when it's like I brought home pretty much like 98% of all of the product that I retail in my studio home with me. So my basement has been taken over, but there's some stuff that like I don't carry that people will bring up and want to get or talk about. And I'm like, I don't want to have to do like these small little orders. So this helped tremendously. I mean, you don't make as large of a commission as you would if you were going and getting it to them. But then the nice thing is they can go on and they can like search, and they can be, midnight, one night laying in bed thinking about like, oh, I saw so-and-so's hair on TV and that looked good. Like, I wonder what she used. They'll message me and I'll say, oh, this one's great. They go online, they select it with my code. The company sends it to them. I don't have to worry about like shipping or dropping it off to their house. And then I get an email like, oh, you just made X amount off of, this order and this order. So that has been awesome because I really have not had to do anything except for every so often post about it on Instagram or if somebody asks me about it.
Right. That's great. They can shop whenever they want and you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, because most people, people really like to online shop at like 2 a.m. Because I know I've had many sleepless nights during like the stay-at-home order. Like I turned into a massive night owl. So it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna online shop, spend money that I shouldn't be spending, but I'm like, oh, it's okay. So this was like perfect.
I'm so guilty. I always say that I'm like a sleep shopper instead of a sleepwalker.
Yes.
Somehow things happen right before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Marissa, for all the tips. Let's just do a quick recap, and you guys don't go anywhere. We'll open it up for Q&A right after this. But Marissa, can you just share some last tips for everyone on what they should remember when putting in the work to boost their retail sales?
Yeah. So my biggest thing is like, do not be afraid of somebody telling you no. Like, who cares if they tell you no? Like, it's not the end of the world. They're your client. They come to you because they know that you know what you're doing. So I just do not be afraid of hearing no. Another good thing to help, I feel like, is like offering something for clients. Most of us, especially like if you're in a suite or even in a studio, but like like I have a rep that I use through Salon Centric. She's always willing to like, she sends me stuff all the time. Like, you know, this would be a great thing for you to try doing in the salon. You like utilize people like that. Or, like level loyalty through Salon Centric. Like you can use points to get trial size products. Like use those when trying to promote certain products. You know, if you spend X amount, then you get a goodie bag with some, you know, free retail. It doesn't have to be full size, but it can be minis. Like people, I love promotions like that, like as a consumer. So like other people do too. Or also doing like a product of the month and having the product on display, because people will see it. They're going to see just like one product sitting by itself. Like, what is that? Like, why do you have that away from everything else? And then that creates like you talking about it and getting people excited.
And even offer an incentive for that product of the month. Yeah. I love those tips. All right, everyone. It's time for Q&A. So please send in any questions you may have in the chat, but also when you guys registered, I know some sent in questions for Marissa with registration. So Liz, can you share what those questions were?
Hey guys, sorry about that. So one question that someone asked that I was also curious about. So when a product is expensive, how do you get the sale?
So my thing is like presenting it as if like it is a luxury product, but it's going to get you where you want to be, and not to think about like my big thing. Like a lot of people will talk about like with Pureology shampoo and conditioner, I sell like Hydrate is like my number one, and they're like, well, it's how much? But then I make sure I point out to them like, okay, you're going to buy this shampoo by another brand that I may sell, and you're going to get X amount of uses. But if you go to this one, which is more luxurious, you're going to get even more out of it. Like giving them like the perks without making it feel like you're just trying to sell them about it. But the biggest thing is just telling them like all of the benefits and like why it's going to be so much better for you than just buying the bottle of shampoo that you could get at Target for $10.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. One more question here, and this is, I know, probably on everyone's mind. How do you get clients to buy from you versus going to Amazon and Ulta for products that you're selling that they could buy there? So, you know, people often think, and I do this when I'm in the salon, like, you know what, I'll look this product up later. I'll be able to find it online for cheaper. So how do you compete with those prices given they can be cheaper maybe?
So I find that people will bring up like Target a lot. My biggest thing is 95% of the time, like you don't even know what you're getting in that bottle when you're purchasing, especially like Target, Amazon, like you could be getting anything inside of that. Or when you go to those places, there's a good chance that yes, it may be the correct product, but it's expired. It's old packaging. Like there's reasons why you buy from the person that you're with, like with me. And I usually tell people, and it's a thank you. Like you're just saying that you appreciate me by purchasing it through me versus just going on Amazon. And I get Amazon, it's fast, it's quick, it's easy. But then I will talk about too, how there's plenty of times where you'll get products from there. And when it comes out of the bottle, it is not the product that you thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think something we've all seen that Marissa has done really well is create just genuine, real relationships with her clients, so that when products do come up, they really do want to support her. So I think it really starts there with product sales, is building those relationships.
Definitely.
All right. Well, if that's all the questions, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And thank you, Marissa, for sharing all your retail and product sales knowledge with us. Do you want to just speak to this screen right here and how everyone can get hooked up with Gloss Genius through you?
Yes. So I know a lot of people are not on Gloss yet. And I feel like same thing with product. I feel like all the stuff I love, like other people should love it too and be using it too. So with Gloss, if you want to even just try it out, just do the trial. Just see if you like it, get a feel for it, see if it's everything that like we say it is, which it is. But you can use my code. It's Marissa Roberts, all caps. But the big thing with signing up through me is like, again, like I was saying, I'm literally always on my phone. And when people sign up, like if they are like confused, like I don't know how to do this, I don't know what to do, how do I do this? Like you can email me, you can text me, you can DM me on all of my social media platforms, and I can help you and walk you through. And you get extra perks by signing up through me than just a girl at your studio.
Perfect.
And you can make money. You can make $30. So like, who doesn't want free money?
Exactly. I feel like you kind of also just showed us how you naturally sell your products too. Just try it, see if you
Yeah.
like it. It's very like approachable and not like salesy.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. We will be sending you a follow-up email with more info and the replay of this webinar for you guys to watch it back. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.